Hi guys, so it's Martha. I'm back. I'm doing some decks that I'm using for spring. And they're decks that I haven't worked with in a while or haven't really worked with at all, I hate to say. So the next one I'm going to work with, the creator of this deck, I have her other two decks, which are the Joie de Vie and the Paulina Tarot. Excuse me, I love them both. Box is absolutely beautiful, really strong, really gorgeous, and it comes with again a little white book, but it's actually a lovely little book. The backs are like this, and it's called the Spirit Song Tarot by Paulina Cassidy. Again, I want to remark on something. People said that like the box is so vivid in colour, which it is. It's really vivid in colour, but the cards somehow aren't. The images on the cards are a little bit more washed out, and I still like it. I kind of still like it. I don't have a problem with it, but you'll see what I mean. Well, actually no, it's not coming up here for you properly. Cardstock is gorgeous, by the way, and they're a little bit oversized. I sometimes kind of think of this as more of an oracle deck. I don't know why, but it just comes across like more of an oracle. It is stunning. Her artwork is lovely anyway. Now, I know some people do find it a little bit busy, and I can understand that. Even though they look so kind of fluffy, I want to say, her decks are, I would say, if somebody was to ask me what would you recommend as a deck for, I wouldn't necessarily recommend her decks. Maybe the Joie de Vie, because they aren't as busy. But when they're busy like this, sometimes it can, because the images are important if you're going down the kind of Rider-Waite-Smith reading method. But these, it is a lovely deck. It really is a lovely deck, and you know, you have little words at the end as well, key words at the end as well. So it's an animal deck, obviously. The moon card is beautiful. She always does lovely moon cards. So that's the Spirit Song Tarot, and it's by Paulina Cassidy. And I'm just really looking forward to kind of jumping into all of these over the spring, and maybe I might even carry on with a few of them into the summer. The next deck I'm going to show you, I'm going to go into Oracle decks now. Again, I'm using this deck at the moment with the Soul Cards Tarot, and it's a beautiful combination because the Soul Cards is so minimalist and soft in its colours, and this particular deck would blow you out of the water with saturation on the colours. Is gorgeous, and that is the Mystical Moments, the Oracle of Mystical Moments, and it is by Catherine Wellstein. It's lovely. It's really lovely. There's a little white book that goes with this. I kind of tend not to bother with it really because the images are enough. You can really just, some of them have weird names, like one of the cards is called Lorelei. A beautiful name, but it kind of, you really have to kind of study the card to kind of get your intuition moving. But these cards are glorious. So like this one is House of Flowers. Look at that. Really lovely. So it's a beautiful oracle deck, and it just goes so lovely with the Soul Cards or Tarot. A Long Way Home. I'll show you a couple of other ones that I really love. Like, it's got a really dreamy quality to it. So that one is called Liberty. It's just got this really kind of surreal sort of feel to it. That's the image on the front of the box. It's just really weird, but it's weird, but in a really good way. It's lovely. The back is beautiful as well. It's so subtle. No, I'm not gonna. It's a very pale green colour. It's lovely. That is one I have used in the past, so I have a pretty good relationship with this deck. I just hadn't used it in a while. Now the next one I'm going to use, I have the tarot deck that goes with this, and I love the tarot deck that goes with this, but it only ever comes out for me in kind of when there's something I'm really trying to figure out and I can't get a grip on it. And I think anyone who has the tarot deck of this would say exactly the same thing, but this is the Oracle version. I never work with the tarot deck for a long period of time. I just take it out when I need it. The Oracle deck is different for me, but I haven't worked with it in a while, so I'm taking it out, and that's the Checkily Oracle. The Checkily Tarot is the tarot that goes along with it, and it's again surreal, but very hard-hitting. So it's not a deck to wander into lightly, shall we say. So it comes with a little book. Very good book, actually. And I'm not sure, does it say how many cards are in it? There's 32 cards in it. And the backs are like this, really beautiful, like kind of, I don't want to say sickly sweet, but it's kind of got that feel to it, because the cards, when you look at them first, they look really, oh my God, it's so lovely and sweet. But then when you look a little closer, there's often something very odd about the cards. It's the same with the tarot, or in some cases, in a lot of cases, quite disturbing. So these are the oracle cards, and it's yeah, it's very strange when you look at them for a while. When you pull them in a reading, it's like a lot of people find this card quite difficult to look at. But if you look at them, they initially, as I said, they seem like, look at this one, it seems very sickly sweet, as I said, very childish, but actually when you look at it, like, she's so confined and locked away, and kind of like like us at the moment. Again, look at that. So it's like there's always a real weirdness to the cards, but it is a lovely deck, and I definitely want to use it for the spring, and maybe even the summer. I'll see. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'll stick with it for as long as it wants to be with me. The last one I'm using, the last Oracle deck that I'm using, and this one, I really love this one. But again, I only tend to take it out, I think, at certain times of the year. Or sometimes I store it away and it stays there until one day I'll just think, I need this deck. And it is Earth Magic. Again, beautiful saturation of colour. Stephen D. Farmer is the creator, and it's a 48 card deck and guidebook. The guidebook is lovely, but again, it's one of those decks that you don't really need the guidebook. No, use it if you want to, but the backs are really unusual as well. They're lovely. Okay, cardstock is fantastic. I meant to say that about the Checkily Tarot as well. The cardstock is very good in those as well. I think, yeah, the Checkily Tarot and the Checkily Oracle are Lo Scarabeo, so you know the cardstock you're going to get. This is, I have no idea who. I think it's is it Hay House? I'm not sure. I don't know. So the cardstock is very good in this, and these, you'll see the saturation of colour. They're just really beautiful, and you know, you have your word. You know, you have the heading of the card, childhood, and then you have the word, which is innocence, but it's the images. And I also really like, I know in this community we can be very much against borders in some situations, but I think borders work in some decks. They definitely do. I think like with the Paulina Tarot decks, the Paulina Cassidy tarot decks, your border is necessary, because if you cut off the borders, you end up with like this just dizzy array of colour that you can't understand what's happening. So this is the Earth Magic Oracle cards, and I really love these. Spring Equinox. Lovely reads from this deck. Really lovely reads from this deck. It's very kind of shamanic as well, I think, in some ways. Tsunami, Wake Up Call. Yeah, I really love it. There's lots of different types of images as well. I mean, it's not, you know, there isn't so much of a kind of a theme going through the deck. You go. Reflection, winter solstice, purification, rain. Yeah, you've like wind, rain. There really is some beautiful cards in this. Harmony and music. Island solitude. I use I want to use these decks as well for, I've said it in another video, I might put a card up for it. I'm doing a project at the minute around Jung's active imagination and kind of combining Tolkien as well. I'm in the middle of rereading Lord of the Rings for the umpteenth time, but I love it. And also in conjunction with the Imaginal Realm book that's written by Dr. Becca Tarnas. And I'm using a lot of these oracle cards for the kind of active imagination of the world building. I'm doing the world building of in a notebook. I'll put a card up for that video so that you'll know what I'm talking about. So I'm kind of using a lot of, like, this deck I think is very good for it. And the kind of Chekerley Tarot, funnily enough, or Chekerley Oracle deck, and the Oracle of Mystic Moments. Those oracle decks are kind of really nice around that whole active imagination. So it's just what's come. It's what comes forward for you as well. I think every season, you know, I have very specific decks that will come forward to me in winter, and I have very specific decks that will come forward to me in autumn. And I actually thought that the Sasarabito would be an autumn deck for me, but it isn't. It never shows up in autumn and winter. It's always around this time of the year that I kind of decide that I want to play with it. And look, I think we'll end on the fairies. Yeah, we'll end on the fairies. Okay, so they're the decks that I'm using for spring, and maybe a little bit into summer. I don't know. Maybe the oracle decks might carry into summer with me. That's it. I should have another video up soon, and I will hopefully figure out how to sort out my timing on my video. The Woodland Hag, her channel is excellent as well. She actually advised me on how to do it, and I still couldn't figure it out. So anyway, listen, best of luck, guys. Love you all. Be good, stay safe, and see you next time.